It's the third and final installment of the Great Big Secretary. We're getting there. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. I'm using this funky angled brush that I got a long time ago, and I think the last time I used it was in a situation like this when I was painting a secretary. It's perfect for this situation. I'm so glad that insert was out because I was able to put it on its side and really get all the angles. After I was done painting with the Cape Current, I used Stick With Me and I did all the fronts of the insert, and I also did all of the little knobs that go on all the little drawers and on the cabinet door that's in the insert. So after I let the adhesive set up a little bit, then I use some Dixie Shine in gold. And I take a little finishing pad and just rub and burnish that off. This is so much easier than using gold leaf. It's so much less messy. So I just rub that over there and get everything off that I can. You'll see it just come right off of the sheet. But then I can put it back on, and I'm just kind of using my fingernail and going in that little recess around the knob and around the outside edges and just getting all of the places that are still sticky. So I'm installing all those knobs, and I think it really looks cool. I love it. These receipts were inside the desk, and my client wanted me to preserve them. So they're getting decoupaged on the desktop. Now, they're a little bit thicker paper, plus they're pretty old, and they've been curled up for many years. So I'm going to have to get them into submission here. I'm using clear coat in satin, and I'm using a generous amount where I want it, and using the typical decoupage technique. Now I take some stamps. I use an Iron Orchid design stamp called Kindest Regards, and I'm inking it with Decor ink in Stone Gray. I love this color because it's a little more subtle than the regular black ink. It was very subtle on this dark color, and I really like the effect that it gives. Then I take the butterflies stamp and do a few different butterflies. And back to the drawers. If you remember, there was a little bit of veneer that was peeling up on the corner, and I had used the Restore Finish and I didn't really care for it. So I ended up sanding them back. And then when I did that, I chipped more of the veneer. So now what I'm doing is putting some glue. I had clamped it too, but now I put some glue in, and I took the sawdust from my sanding and I'm attaching it to the glue, embedding it in the glue, and then letting that dry. And then we'll sand that back when it's dry, because that gives you the exact color of your wood. I return to the drawers and very gently, with a very fine sandpaper, just do a little bit of sanding on that just to smooth it out. I've learned my lesson. And now I'm using some no pain gel stain in walnut to restore the color back to these drawers. I saved this solar light box a while back. I think I showed you that in the last episode. And I'm just doing the same thing again with the Dixie Shine and applying it after I used the Stick With Me adhesive. Now I'm going to take it down a notch with some glaze in Van Dyke Brown. I want to give it an aged appearance since it's an old piece of furniture. I don't want the hardware to look brand new and too shiny. I am just loving this hardware. I love the way it looks. So I'm going to do the same treatment on all of those escutcheon plates that I made. I think they look so good. But wait, there's more. I'm going to now use gilding wax on top of all that and just give it yet another layer of shine. I absolutely love the combination of treatments that were used on this hardware and the results that I got. You'll have to let me know in the comments what you think of all this. Back to the desktop. I thought it was missing something. So I took the ephemera, etc. transfer and took some of the butterflies out of it and used them. And they are exactly what was needed to give the inside a pop. I had a little transfer trouble there. It kind of split, and then the little tip of it turned back on itself. I never had that happen before, but I just laid it back down and just worked on it. And you know what? No one's going to look at it and say, oh, there's a little piece missing. They just won't. So that's the beauty of transfers. They really just lay down so nicely. Even something like that isn't a problem. Sometimes we tend to be perfectionists and overthink things. So I'm here to tell you, let it go. Let yourself go. We're making progress. Onto the top of the cabinet. I painted the inside, and now I'm priming the outside. But I have a little repair work to do before I completely finish it. Up at the top, there's missing a little round decorative piece of like that, of molding that was there. So it's missing on the other side, so I'm using Amazing Mold Putty. It's the same people that make Amazing Casting Resin, and I'm just taking approximate equal parts of both and kneading it together with my hand until it's one solid color. And then I'm putting it over my piece that I want to imitate for the other side. And I let it sit there and dry for about 15 or 20 minutes. Then it's time to pop the mold off and pour in some Amazing Casting Resin so I can duplicate that. I had a little extra, so I used one of the holiday ginger and spice molds. I got to work on the cabinet doors. These initials were on the glass, so I just decided to unstick them, and I added them on the inside of the door for a nice surprise. My painter's tape's at the new workshop. I'll be glad when everything is in one place. So I used some packing tape lightly. I figured if it lifted any of the paint, I had to paint it anyway. I used small brass nails to attach the escutcheon plates, but I decided to use a screw to start the hole that I would drill for the new knob, just so that it would make it a little bit easier. And then, of course, I drilled with the regular drill bit. And I am painting my new molding. Can't tell the difference, right? And just touching up where the paint came off. I use Restore a Finish on the finial that goes between the two. And I think that was just the touch it needed. And it's time to do the rest of the stenciling on the sides of the upper cabinet. I also use the Restore a Finish on the shelves that go in there. I use Big Mama's Butter in Orange Grove to freshen up the drawers, not just the insides, but also the track underneath to help them glide smoothly. Take a look and let me know what you think of my Antiques Dupe secretary. Thanks so much for watching today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Follow us on social media on Statement Designs. Stay well.